I still remember the exact second my phone lit up that Tuesday afternoon. My heart actually skipped a beat when I saw the notification. Your mom tagged you in a post. I was sitting cross-legged on my old childhood bed, the same faded quilt from high school still underneath me, trying to figure out how my life had gotten so small. At 31, I had moved back home after my divorce shattered everything I thought I knew about love and stability. The job I loved had laid me off 3 months earlier. My confidence was gone. Even my reflection in the mirror felt like a stranger, extra weight from all the stress-eating, tired eyes, the kind of quiet exhaustion no one talks about out loud. But I was trying. Every single day I was trying. I'd started walking in the mornings, applying for new jobs, whispering to myself that this season wouldn't last forever. I tapped the screen, smiling a little because Mom and I had stayed up late the night before. I'd cried on her shoulder, told her how scared I felt about starting over, how invisible I'd become. She'd hugged me tight and said, "I'm here, sweetheart. We'll get through this together." Her words had felt like safety. Then the post loaded. There I was, an unflattering photo from Christmas 2 years ago. I was slumped on the couch in baggy sweatpants, hair messy, plate balanced on my lap, looking every bit as broken as I felt back then. The caption underneath made my stomach drop, "When your daughter swears she's starting fresh after her divorce." But let's be honest, this is still the reality tough love from Mom. Who else has kids who need a little reality check? #MomTruths, #FamilyFirst. 200 likes already. Comments flooding in from aunts, cousins, her church friends, laughing emojis, "You tell her, sis," classic. She needed to hear it. My own mother had taken my lowest moment and turned it into public entertainment for everyone we knew. I sat there frozen, tears burning hot down my cheeks before I could even blink. The woman who was supposed to protect me had just handed me over to the wolves with a smile and a hashtag. My hands shook as I dropped the phone on the bed. I wanted to scream, but the sound stayed trapped in my throat. What I didn't know that day was that this single post was only the beginning, and exactly 12 days later, the truth I finally spoke would change everything. I stormed downstairs, phone in hand, voice cracking as I held the screen out to her. "Mom, why? Why would you post that?" She was at the kitchen table scrolling on her own phone, coffee in hand, looking so calm it made me dizzy. She glanced up, saw my face, and actually laughed softly. "Oh, honey, it's just a joke. Everyone needs a little humor these days. You take things too seriously." She reached for my arm like she used to when I was little, but I pulled away. The woman who had comforted me the night before was now acting like my pain was funny. I felt something inside me crack wide open. The next few days blurred into a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. The post kept gaining traction, 400 likes, then 600. Relatives I hadn't spoken to in years were sharing it with their own comments. Poor girl, bless her heart, or worse, kids these days have no backbone. My cousin texted me a laughing emoji and wrote, "Auntie got you good." I stopped answering messages. I stopped leaving my room except to use the bathroom. Food tasted like ash. Sleep came in short, restless bursts filled with dreams of everyone laughing at me. I kept replaying every conversation we'd ever had, the way she'd always compared me to my perfect cousin growing up. "Why can't you be more like her?" The times she'd sigh loudly when I brought home a B instead of an A. The way she'd roll her eyes when I gained weight during college. I thought those moments were just her personality. Now I saw them for what they were. Little cuts that had been bleeding for years. She had always needed to feel superior, even if it meant making me smaller. And now she'd done it in front of the entire family circle, turning my private struggle into their entertainment. By day 4, I was completely broken. I sat on the floor of my room, surrounded by old photo albums, tears dripping onto pictures of us when I was little. I whispered to the empty air, "How could you do this to me?" The betrayal felt heavier than the divorce, heavier than losing my job. This was my safe place. My mother. The one person whose love was supposed to be unconditional. Instead, I felt exposed, raw and utterly alone. Friends who had liked the post started texting awkward apologies or just went silent. My phone became a weapon I was scared to touch. But something shifted around day 6. Late one night, an old high school friend named Priya messaged me privately. She hadn't liked the post. She wrote, "I saw what your mom posted. That was cruel. You've always been strong, even when she tried to make you feel small. I'm here if you need to talk." Those simple words cracked through the darkness. I cried harder than I had in days, but this time the tears felt different, like they were washing something away instead of drowning me. I started writing in my journal every night, page after page of truth, all the times Mom had dismissed my feelings, all the jokes that left scars. I found old text messages on my phone from last year where she'd written, "You're too sensitive. No wonder your husband left." I saved screenshots. I read them over and over until the shame slowly turned into something sharper, clarity. I wasn't the problem. Her need to control the narrative, to look like the perfect mother online while tearing me down in private, was the problem. The days dragged on, but I felt myself changing. I still hurt, but the hurt was turning into fuel. I stopped hiding. I went for longer walks. I applied for 3 jobs in one morning. I looked at myself in the mirror and whispered, "You are not what she posted. You are more." Every time I saw the post still sitting there on her profile, getting new comments, I felt a quiet fire building in my chest. I wasn't going to stay broken. I was going to speak. By day 10, I had written the post. It took me hours, typing, deleting, crying, rewriting. It wasn't angry. It was honest. Raw. I poured out how her words had shaped my self-worth for years. I described the night before the post how I'd trusted her with my fears, only to wake up humiliated. I attached the original photo and wrote, "This is me at my lowest, yes. But I'm still here, still fighting. And I won't let anyone, even family, define me by my hardest moments anymore." I read it one last time, hands shaking, then saved it as a draft. I wasn't ready to hit post. Not yet. I needed one more day to be sure. Day 11, I barely slept. I kept imagining her face when she saw it. Part of me still loved her and wanted to protect her. But a bigger part, the part that had been silenced for too long, knew silence would only let the wound keep festering. I whispered to myself in the dark, "This isn't revenge. This is truth." And truth heals. On the morning of day 12, I woke up with a strange calm. The house was quiet. Mom was in the kitchen humming like nothing had happened. I sat at my laptop, took a deep breath, and clicked post. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. Then I closed the laptop, walked out the back door, and went for a long walk so I wouldn't watch the reactions in real time. When I came back 2 hours later, my phone had exploded. Over 300 comments already. Most of them were from people I hadn't heard from in years, cousins, neighbors, even some of Mom's friends, writing things like, "I'm so sorry she did that to you. You're brave for speaking up, and this needed to be said." The support poured in like warm sunlight after weeks of storm clouds. A few people defended Mom, but the tide had turned. Her perfect supermom image was cracking right in front of everyone. My phone rang. It was her. I answered, voice steady for the first time in 12 days. "Emily, what have you done?" Her voice was small, shaky, nothing like the laughing woman from the kitchen table. "Everyone is calling me. They're saying I'm a bad mother. Take it down, please. This is humiliating." I felt a strange mix of sadness and relief wash over me. "Mom," I said softly, "you humiliated me first, in front of the same people. I didn't do this to hurt you. I did it so I could finally stop carrying the shame you gave me." She cried on the phone. Real tears. She said she never meant for it to go that far, that she was just trying to be funny and honest. But for the first time, I heard the crack in her armor. She asked me to come downstairs. When I walked into the kitchen, she was sitting there, eyes red, phone in her lap. She looked small. For the first time in my life, I saw her not as the all-powerful mother, but as a woman who was scared of her own flaws. We talked for a long time that afternoon, not perfectly, not everything was forgiven in one conversation. But something shifted between us. She admitted the post was wrong. She even edited her original post to say she was sorry. It wasn't a grand apology video, but it was something. And for me, that was enough. A week later, I signed the lease on my own small apartment. I packed my things while she watched from the doorway, quiet. As I carried the last box to the car, she hugged me, tight, the way she used to when I was little. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. I believed her this time. Looking back now, that Facebook post broke me in the most public way possible. But it also woke me up. It taught me that even the people who are supposed to love us unconditionally can fail us. And when they do, we don't have to stay silent or small. We can stand up, speak our truth, and choose ourselves. The revenge wasn't about destroying her. It was about finally refusing to let her words destroy me. If you're watching this and carrying the weight of someone else's cruelty, especially from family, please hear me. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply tell the truth, even if your hands shake while you type it. 12 days changed everything for me. I hope your 12 days are coming soon too. For more stories, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon.